Lumina's just going to, like, keeping an eye out for, like, the people around this area, the, like, city folk, what's kind of happening. Because, like, there was that very loud scream, so Lumina can assume that they know what's going on in the castle, but I think she's just kind of wondering, is that trickling down? Like, is a panic being caused in the city?
Looking around, it has gotten very still. The crows have stopped cawing. The rats have stopped running. People have stopped. The carts are no longer rolling. There is a weight, a burden, a fear that surrounds all of you.
Ursa will, like, climb up on a roof and just kind of, using his eagle vision, to just kind of, like, scan the perimeter real quick after noticing that everything has gotten, like, very, very quiet, and just kind of see if there's, like, anything worth mentally clocking before they head up.
Towards your destination, there are only two buildings that really stand out, one being the castle, and then the other one being what appears to be a rather tall ruined church that still seems to be standing.
I'm seeing what looks to be some kind of cathedral up before the castle. I don't know if anything in that church will be useful.
It would be interesting to see what they prayed to, or maybe still pray to.
You step forward, moving deeper into the city. You thought there was a stillness and a quietness before. The closer you step, each step you take, the more and more the sounds of the world become dim. The only sounds you can hear are those which you all make. The fog gets more dense. The mud more sticky between the cracks of the stonework. Brambled vines spew up from the ground below you, twisting and crawling upon the old stone houses, which, this section of town, you don't know how anyone could live in them. Maybe no one does. As you move forward, you can begin to eventually hear sounds again. See light once more. Torchlight. Sound of marching out in this section of the city. This is not for civilian. No longer do you see raven folk or crow folk, kind of are act as the elite of the civilian people. Now it is simply draconian militant groups that kind of parade this area.
Lumina is going to try and, like, pull everybody into, like, kind of back street kind of areas, and, like, keep her ears out for like when guards pass kind of thing.
As you begin navigating your way through the alleys, you can immediately tell that there is a reason the main roads are being taken by the people on patrol. It is because these alleys are just filled with mud and vines that kind of twist up and pretty much make them incredibly difficult to navigate through. Osen, as you're walking forward, you can see your sister and Ursa moving up around an alley in front of you, and you're struggling, feet in the mud. Lumina is directly behind you, and as you turn the corner, both of them are gone. And you look back behind you, and Lumina is gone. Everyone just disappears.
Osen kind of recognizes what's going on from the last time this happened to him. So he's going to stop and just for a second think. You're going to see him pull a leaf out of his pocket. Kneel, kind of repeat the same phrase of the seasons guide me, the seasons protect me, the seasons guide me, the seasons protect me. He seems to be kind of having a little bit of a panic attack.
Kira, being in the front, kind of pushing through, you just see yourself round an alley and immediately run into a wall of fog. And as you turn around, there's more fog. Ursa, you see Kira disappear around the corner, and then this similar thing happens to you. For you, Lumina, you're in front, and you just watch as fog just kind of consumes and surrounds you as Osen's a few feet in front of you. And you're just completely been cut off.
Kira is, like, frantically... Osen? Osen?
As you are calling out to the fog, looking around, struggling to find any way out, you do eventually, after a few moments, look out and see a silhouette of a figure.
And she's gonna start running towards that silhouette.
the silhouette of this figure get closer and closer until you're about on it. You can see the individual has their back to you. You still can't make out any distinct features or traits about this person.
She starts like slowing down and hello? Well, I'm
Standing
just going to assume that I don't know you. Goodbye. She's gonna back away.
You back up into something. It moves.
I'm gonna turn around.
You turn around, and you can see this thing is a bit bigger than you, but it looks like you. And you realize the reason it's bigger than you is because it's hanging. And it's hanging from a rope. And you can see your stilless eyes rolled back, blood dripping from the corner of your lips.
I see. She's gonna push it out of the way.
You push it out of the way, and there is like this jump scare moment where you see Osin's head on a spike, covered in blood, right in front of your face at eye level.
No. It can't be possible. She's gonna not touch it, but like very carefully go around and try to head back the way that she came.
As you are walking through the fog, unable to really see or find any sign of anyone else, felt something touch you as there's a bright flash. Lumina, you stand in the fog.
Lumina's gonna close her eyes. She summons a little sun, casts it out into the distance.
As it leaves and first touches the fog, you watch as it seems like a bunch of like tiny claws begin to rip apart the light all at once, kind of animating from the fog itself until there's not a single shred of light left.
I don't think I want to step into that fog. And she like takes a step back,
Take a step back.
looking behind her.
Yeah, the fog completely surrounds you.
And she just kind of gets like a little uncomfortable as she realizes it's also behind her. And she just kind of like takes a second, tries to like root herself in some kind of reality, and then will like take a look forward.
Calm your breathing, and as you look around, you recognize it's real, that whatever's happening here is some sort of illusion. You eventually are able to see through the fog. As the fog fades, and you begin moving out of it, you look up and you can see in the distance Osin perched on the roof.
Did that happen to you?
No.
Did we just go silent, or why are we up on this roof?
Nobody was here. Unlike before when we were walking through the city, or the village, people kind of just stopped and said they saw something. You guys legitimately disappeared this time.
I guess we keep an eye out for our colleagues then.
That's probably the best idea.
Ursa, you two are lost in this fog.
Gang? Anyone? And when he doesn't get a response, he's just going to start trying to like swipe away at the fog, just kind of like, I don't know, try to do anything to like clear the fog away, trying to get out of whatever is impairing his senses.
You
No
swipe
lucky
away
number.
at the fog, trying to find some way out. You eventually see in the distance, maybe like 20, 30 feet away, the silhouette of a figure looks at you. They look lanky, long hair, feminine. And as they kind of see you, they run.
Wait, come back! And Ursa will kind of like just gonna start sprinting after them.
Okay. You begin sprinting after this. Round a corner, and you look and see you're getting closer, bit by bit by bit. You round the corner, and the fog is kind of relieved for a moment, and there's this stillness in the air. You can see a tall, sickly, lanky-looking old woman with long, grayish hair, basically wearing rags, all sorts of baubles and strange symbols etched into her skin.
Ursa will call out, "Please, I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm lost."
I'm lost too. See a very sickly, life-drained image of Lumina, who looks like she's had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of years taken or like added to her life. She looks like the sickly old woman, incredibly frail. And as she turns around, you recognize some of the clothes she wears, but they're now tattered in bits to what you once saw. There's a light that once existed in her eyes that is now a pale void of darkness.
Ursa will like go to call out and start to say Lumina's name, but it'll just kind of get like stuck in his throat a little bit.
She'll kind of step forward. Please, I can't be stuck here any longer.
Ursa will just like extend his hand outwards.
You extend your hand outwards, and you don't know what happened, but you see her eyes roll back and blood begin to drain out from the corners of them as you look down and you hold a bloodied blade in your hand that has been shoved and impaled through her, and you watch as she slips to the ground.
No. I did. It has to be just like that one time. Walking here. This is all in your mind, Ursa. In a more extreme manner of trying to picture yourself awake, he'll kind of take his head and like headbutt the ground, trying to just wake himself up.
Okay. As you pound your head into the ground, eventually you look up and you realize the fog is settling. About a quarter mile away, up on a roof, you can see two figures. You recognize them from here to be Osin and Lumina.
Ursa will kind of just let out like a sigh of relief, realizing that what he saw wasn't actually true. Ursa will kind of climb up on the roof. Lumina, Osin, have you guys seen Kira?
No.
No. How long has it been?
You came out after 20 minutes.
Ursa came out another 7.
So it's been almost 30 minutes now.
Okay.
That can't be right. There's no way that's right.
Can I cast telepathy?
What's the range of telepathy?
Anywhere on the same plane. So if we are not on the same plane, it will fail.
It fails. Kira, you find yourself instantly somewhere you have never been before. You can feel a chilling cold breeze blowing against you, ice blowing into your fur and freezing and crystallizing on you in a few instants as you appear in the center of the snowy landscape of Niflheim. Around you is a plain of ice and snow and undead.
I'm gonna banish myself.
So yeah, Kira, you banish yourself back to Vanner in a location that is completely out of your own control. But Lumina, as you are kind of concentrating on the spell, there's a nothing for a moment, and then she pings, and you can sense her location somewhere.
Girl, where were you?
Somewhere cold.
Oh, where are you now? Do you know?
You are on an island.
I'm living the life in the tropics.
Wow, that's pretty great for you. Do you have a way to get to us?
I suppose you should go on without me.
I can... well, I wouldn't necessarily say I can get you back. I might be able to call in a favor. I was hoping to use this favor for something a little bit more dire. But this is pretty bad. Osin and Ursa, you see... Like, Lumina's gone quiet for a second when she started, like, telepathically communicating. You see her, chanting and prayers, like, kick up into overdrive as she begins to, like, start chanting to the angel Alfara. My beloved creator, the giver of life, the giver of light, I need but a small request from you. I need you to bring one lost soul, a Kira Metzi, directly to my location.
Kira, you feel a bright light, a warm, embracing light kind of envelop you as you feel yourself shunted, pulled from this part of the world to another, and you all see like this beam of light kind of firing upward, this technicolor burst of energy, and as it fades, you can see Kira standing there on the rooftop.
Right as she appears, Osin just embraces her.
We don't have time for this, Osin. Let's just
I know, shut up.
Okay, get this over.
You can tell with that light show and with the chanting, your location has been made known, and you can hear the sound of soldiers in the streets.
Let's go.
We need to go.
Yeah.
You are being actively pursued. As you guys fly through, you eventually escape the eyes of the soldiers on the ground. And as you come into a bit of a clearing to where that old church lies, it still stands tall. Surprisingly, the stained glass windows look to be untouched, like they haven't been broken through. This looks to be a church devoted to the Creator.
I guess that makes sense why nobody's broken this down yet.
You go down to the front door. It is unlocked.
Oh, thank you, I guess. As she looks up at the church.
Kind of close the door behind you, and as it shuts, you look out before you, see a quiet, dimly lit room. You can see there are some lights flickering very far end of the church. To be a fire. Very far end, you can see a woman in white robe kneeling. The woman kind of stands up after a moment.
Not to interrupt your prayers, are you the caretaker of this church?
She turns around and you can see a fairly short, 5'1", stout dwarven woman, completely bald, completely clean shaven. She's a nun. She's a monk. Places her hands together in a calm manner and approaches. I am. Take it you are outsiders here.
Yes.
Safe refuge for now.
Oh, that's good, because it's not good outside, out there.
It really is.
Oh, well, not just because of, the bad things, but also some of the rulers of this land are starting to be slain.
They've brought much evil, much destruction to this land for many centuries. But soon it ends.
Yeah, Lumina gives her that look of like, yeah, that makes sense to, wait, you look, I think you know more than you are leading on.
I've lived in Borealis for years. Never given up on it. Always known it could shine to be something better. I know that the Creator has not given up on it. Seeks to bring liberators. And I know, looking at you, that you are those liberators that were intended to come here.
Do you mind if we take a moment of reprieve here?
Not at all. Do you mind if I pray over you?
No, it's no problem at all.
Well, I'd like to give what I can to you all for your journey moving forward. If you would accept this gift.
I think
Just said sure.
She kind of goes one by one. To you, Kira. To you, child. Take this gift. She kind of smiles. Her fingers kind of trace across your forehead. She utters a word of prayer. She goes to you, Lumina. Take this gift.
yes, I do. She is clutching her pendant to Alpha.
Do you, child of the Creator, take this blessing.
Ursula will kneel down so she doesn't have to like jump up or anything. Of course.
She gets to you, Osen.
Osen will kind of lean down his head.
Slayer of three. Take this gift.
Yes.
She mucks your forehead and utters a word. When she blinks, you watch as her eyes open. Black blood pours down from the corner of them, and you can feel that trace on your head begin to burn as there's a bright flash. You all feel your body go numb and your heart go cold as you almost watch the edges of your vision as crystals, ice crystals, kind of crawl up to the face of it. Osen, you wake up. You open your eyes and you see a ceiling of dirt with twisting roots kind of holding it together. Feel tight iron shackles around your arm. Also feel some sort of like brace on your neck. You are strapped down to some sort of table. You look out before and you see three creatures. You see a tall, pale woman in a tattered black dress with long flowing black hair and eyes in which you recognize. Dark black eyes with black blood that pour out from the corners of them. You also see another humanoid looking woman. Her skin a little darker, her hair a little less glossy, still this dark black. And you can see these eyes that kind of glow two red embers, anger and grief, from behind those eyes. And then you see the largest, a beautiful tan-skinned woman, very very thick eyebrows, who wears this kind of purple tunic. You see a wedding ring on her finger, a ring that you recognize that King Gazagoth also wore.
Do I see everybody else, or is it just me?
It is just you. You see the woman with the black blood staring at you. You really all thought that you would stop me? Stop us?
Is
1,000 years of suffering in this land, and you thought you would be the one. You fools, thinking you're so much larger than life. You are still the ants we step upon. You are the rats we kick. The people who grovel at our feet are the same. You are no different.
I'll rip out your throat with my teeth! Even in death I will hunt you.
Osen, as you look at these individuals, you start to put together who they are in their roles. There's Queen Dione, the woman with the black blood eyes. From the stories you've been told, she was the one who actually spawned into existence the other two. Yet they all still call themselves sisters. Queen Pearl and Queen Azul stand there before you. Azul is the larger one. Pearl is the one with the ember eyes. Queen Pearl returns. A spell book kind of flutters open before you.
You're not from here, are you?
Where I'm from matters nothing. Because soon, no one will remember the name of the Creator. There will be no songs of his glory or his praise. The only song uttered will be of our victory and the defeat of all who walk Vanrith.
You are weak. The seasons will trample you as they've done others. Time will change, as all things do. And when it does, I'll be waiting for you.
Before you go, we'd like you to write a letter for us. May scooch over a piece of parchment and give you a quill pen to hold in your hand. We want you to write to your sister and follow the words. Ursa, you feel yourself thaw, as if your entire body had just been frozen in place, and you sit up. A moment's gone by, but everything's changed. But where you are, there's no question needed to figure out where it is. About a mile downhill from your home. You're sitting on a road that takes you up into the mountainside, along the cliffs that overlook southern Goshea. Along the Aethel peaks, look down, you can see footprints. Looks like an army.
So we'll enter his rage and use that burst of speed to just full on sprint, following the tracks wherever they lead.
You can see a faded line of smoke leaves the confines of the village. As you run closer and closer, you come to the front gates, which you can see are broken inwards. You can see the entire place is scorched. Every building is burned. Every book destroyed. And as you rush to the center square of town, where the markets once were, you can see uppercase T-shaped crosses, crucifix, in which you can see your pupils, those you cared for, hanging up above you.
Ursa walks forward, and his rage subsides as it's an extreme sadness kind of overtakes him as he drops to his knees. No, this can't be happening. I was supposed to protect them. What good am I?
You look up on each of them, and on their chest, carved, is the name Ursa.
Drops to his knees and wanting to scream as loud as he can, but nothing escaping his voice, sits there and wallows in his own defeat and just starts crying at the feet of his dead village.
Well, Ursa doesn't think much of it. It's 11 days. 11 days have passed. Kira, you feel the same feeling of the cold leaving your body. Your muscles moving once more. Being able to move, and you sit up. It looks to be like a shallow, it's only about 2 feet deep. You recognize this place. It's close to your childhood home, maybe about a mile out. In the distance you can hear crying.
Does it sound like my brother?
Sounds like the rest of your family. Your other siblings and your mother.
She very cautiously gets out of the hole and looks around trying to find the rest of her family.
You eventually wander out, come to a clearing, a small little grove, cabin, out, sequestered away from the world. Your family standing, wearing black, see what looks to be a open casket. Your mother turned, a very large, brutish-looking mix between wolf and a bear, about 6'11", dark black fur, piercing yellow eyes, and a mouth full of like shark's teeth. See a look of maniacal hatred emanating from your mother's eyes.
No. Mama, it wasn't me.
She walks towards you.
Was it my fault?
Kira.
I tried so hard.
She grabs you by the arm and she yanks you. What did you do?
It's not him in there, it's not.
She drags you over and you try to fight but are too weak to, and as she brings you to the edge of the coffin, you can see Osim. His fur stained with blood, his bow snapped in two, his body stitched up as if it's been pulled apart and put back together. His eyes, his face, you can't look at it anymore, but you see a letter written, sits pinned in his chest by an arrow. In his own handwriting, it reads, Kira did this.
Oh. To me. I didn't do it. You know I would never.
You failed him.
No, I didn't. I tried my
You were
best.
supposed to protect him. He was the one who was going to make change in this world. You were the one who was supposed to protect him, keep him safe, and you failed.
I tried my best.
Your best wasn't good enough. She grabs you by the arm and she begins dragging you towards the barn, where as children you were beaten and oftentimes your mother had sick, twisted ideas of how to punish children with no regard for really anything.
She just goes limp, like she used to.
She drags you and clasps an iron chain to your leg. Usin was my perfect child, my favorite child, my warrior, my champion of this world, slayer of all men and beast. And you failed to protect him.
Hey.
Creator gave you hands so that you may care for him in his time of need, but you failed. So what good are you now? The hands are removed.
No good at all.
The Creator gave you lips so your magic could flow through him, but you failed, so what good are your spells now?
No
The
good.
lips are removed. The Creator gave you eyes so you could watch over your brother and see when danger was ahead, but you failed. What good are your eyes when there's no point in seeing? The eyes are removed. The Creator gave you ears, but in his final moments, you weren't even there to hear him scream. I wish you were. For that you were here no more. And the ears are removed. Everything is cold and numb. Everything is dark. There's nothing to feel. The iron chain scrapes against your leg. Kira didn't realize it. 7 weeks have passed. Lumina, you wake up facing the snow. See the setting sun in the distance. You recognize where you are. Stand upon the cragged peaks, the place where the elves first blessed the world to the light of Alfheim, in the grand city of Vinole, where the very first elven tree was planted on Banner. As you stand up and turn around, you see two elves in white robes stand before you. They're your parents.
Wow.
Both tall and fair, beautiful with striking blonde hair. Lumina,
Yes? Mother, father, what are you doing?
the
I
council
figured-
thought it was best that we came. The elves had already given up on this world. We realize you did not. But there is nothing worth saving here.
But I was almost there. I had met fellow compatriots. We had,
Lumina, you've been sequestered for nearly 2 years.
that's too. No, that simply can't be.
21 months from you leaving Alfheim, turning your back on your people, promising that you would return the light. You did not. Lumina, mankind has fallen. This world is no longer helpful for the elves. It's too dangerous.
But it was only 3 of them. Why just have my light alone? If it was more than just one person, just one elf.
Regardless, it's too late. You can't change the past. The council doesn't want to keep in good fortune those who are reckless, putting the lives of other beings before our own. Goodbye, Gotham. And he watches the gate close.
What?
And the light of Alfheim, just beyond that portal, disappears.
I think Lumina's just too physically stunned to do anything. Alfar, I know your will is beyond me. How could you think that this won't impact the elves? This won't impact Alfheim? It's not like we haven't been invaded before. You cannot possibly be taking the light away from this world. I think she, pauses for a real good long while before. It might be the only thing this world has left.
At some point, you feel something land on your hand. A white dove. You do not know how it got here. Doves are often very closely associated with this idea of new life after destruction. It's how kind of caressing your fingers pecks one of your rings.
I kind of look down at it specifically.
You see a silver ring, 3 little slots within it, beads of light, condensed power of Alfheim itself. You see 2 of those lights still on.
Alpha, I know you would not wish me to do this, but you've already given me this ring, and that's something you can't take back. But with it, I think I might be able to take back something of my own. Lumina says, I wish to undo this. I wish to be back in the moment, before I was gone, before I made the mistake that led to the end of this plane.
And there's a flash of light. Kira, in the darkness, in the nothingness, you do not know how much time has passed. You see a light. It's the first time you've seen light in as long as you can remember, and it's calling to you. And it's familiar. It's welcoming. It's restorative. And the light restores you. Ursa, you have wandered for a long time, not knowing what to do, watching as the world around you is desolated and destroyed. And in that wandering, in that seeking of something, you see the light. It calls out to you, it reaches out to you. And as you take it, your purpose is restored. Listen, whatever happened to your soul was left somewhere dark, cold, to ensure it could never reach the light of day again. But yet light came, and you you see it, and it calls out to you. And as the light appears before you, the waiting is over, and the time has come. Lumina, as you cast this wish, you can see the energy of light spewing out from the ring, and you watch as the world around you begins to shake. And you can see as the light cuts a straight beam, slicing everything in half, and you watch as everything kind of begins to shift. One world split, consumed in darkness, and the other world enveloped in light. And as you pull yourself towards that light, 3 beads of light surround you, all coming from different directions, all funneling in towards one location, Borealis, the church light. As the 4 beams of light converge, everything begins to freeze over, and then there is this light that kind of breaks through and bursts, and you see ice crystals shatter against the floor as she kind of backs up. What world? She looks beat to shit as you guys all full-blown relentlessly smack her at once.
As Osin backs up, he's just going to draw back his bow, shoot it into her throat, and then charge back forward with his mouth, clamp on her head, and crush.
As you crush the skull, you watch as this black ichor flows out onto the floor, onto the old church, and as you kind of look now, you watch and see the face of Queen Diane. Her lifeless body lies on the floor, still dead.
Is it really her?
Yeah.
Is everyone alright? I mean, that's a very dumb question, but...
Kura, doesn't even register really. She just walks over to Osin and starts crying into his shoulder.
Osin will lean over her as she's crying, and it's okay.
Thank you,
And-
Lumina. Thank you so much.
You see
And she also
Lumina...
goes over to Lumina and starts crying on her.
Oh, yeah, that's... I'm sorry. I should have recognized what was happening.
Lumina, thank you. Really. I was lost. Without purpose. And your light shined bright in my darkest hour. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have this chance to make things right. I'm forever in your debt. And Ursa just bows.
I don't know if what we're about to do truly is going to set things right. But at the very least, we have 2 more sisters to kill.
When you killed her, you felt the ground shake, as this seemed like this land reacted in anger and rage. And as you step outside and look around, you can see that the soldiers that once guarded this place have fled in fear. There's no activity left in the streets. The fog has dissipated significantly. There's still fog, but the regional power, once quite visible, has been dimmed down a lot. You get to the front gates, they're barred shut.
Try and bust it open.
Ursa, you charge forward, break down the front gate. It cracks open what looks to be a very desolated place where there's really not much going on in the open courtyard. You can't see anywhere where it looks like someone's held up. But as you all kind of fall into place behind Ursa, you can see in the very center of the castle what looks to be like right by the main door is this massive hole. Osin, you recalled that in this other experience that you were in this underground crypt of roots kind of spreading up across the ceiling. As you run down this hall, it's kind of sloped downwards and then it levels off. Ursa, you see not too far out in front of you, you can see a black dragon, eyes full of rage, wrath and anger, these 2 red piercing eyes of fury, as it stands its wings outwards, kind of protecting what's on the other side.
27 hit.
That'll hit. You watch as the dragon takes a little bit of damage.
Ah, okay.
Since we know that they're splitting damage, if I get rid of the dragon, will that effect stop?
Something like that, probably.
Ursa, real quick, will look to Lumina. Which one do you want me to hit?
I would say the dragon.
I will smack this dragon twice. Natural 20, baby. Let's go.
Nice.
And the second attack, another nat 20. I'm dead
Let's
ass, bro.
go. Really rough as you put 2 huge swings into this thing and carve like a huge. What do you carve into its chest with these 2 massive blows?
Ursa starts carving his name.
Okay. You carve 1 up, 1 down. You get the U. You're up. You're up.
Guess what's about to happen?
Meteor sword.
Yes.
Yes, let's go. Let's go.
And I'm gonna spell sculpt. So
She's going to try to counterspell right here.
No.
She's going
Hey.
to try. I said
Hey.
try. I said try.
Mal, you know what you
Yes.
can do?
I'm gonna counterspell her counterspell
Actually,
What
wait. She's
at
invisible.
level. Oh,
You can't.
shit. Isn't
She's
she?
invisible.
Oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. She's just not invisible for me.
Please.
Yes.
Oh!
Let's go.
Let's go.
You could max level it and then take that damage.
I
I think I will actually.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
So there's some half damage bullshit going on.
Cannot succeed. He's dead.
Oh.
Yes, let's go.
Yeah,
Oh.
because he's taking he
Everyone.
succeeded, but then he's taking half of full twice, so he's basically taking a full,
Full.
and then he's taking
He's
quarter.
Full
So
and a
he's taking
quarter.
full and a quarter.
I think this has gone on long enough.
The fact that you're also... Because I like to think that you're just destroying the castle above us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like
just-
fully opening up the sky.
The invisible.
That's
the invisible
insanity.
drops, she is still alive, barely. The other one is gone. The rubble just collapses, completely taking her. You hear her yell. You see Z-Swarg is completely consumed in rubble and fire as it just bursts everywhere.
Yes.
And you see as the castle above, as there's like a massive hole in the ceiling, as just pieces of it are
Tribution!
collapsing onto all of you as rubble is just falling debris. Queen Azul stands around you all,
Oh my god.
just alone, bloodied, completely like torn to pieces. Looks around.
We've got nothing left.
She's gonna teleport.
I'm gonna counterspell.
I will say, all of the 7th and 8th levels were used. So this is the 9th level teleport.
Ah,
Oh.
I see.
That's all she has left for her upper level.
That's a 20.
It's a 20. She's going to attempt the counterspell. I'll do this in the roll 20.
Finally,
Oh, I can't look.
Alfie's dice came in clutch. Thank you, Alfie.
Yes!
Yes!
Oh, that means she can't get away anymore.
No.
Let's
Wait.
go.
Wait.
Go
let me
get
see
her,
if she
big
does-
brother.
She's still got a little bit left in her turn.
She goes for run.
Hey. Reaction? Remember when we said, it would be funny for like a 9th level guiding bolt?
Yeah.
We're bringing it back.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Your time has come. And honestly, I feel really good about this. And you see light just start pouring out of her eyes as her body just gets eviscerated by pure radiance.
You watch as the radiant energy violently flowing through the body, and there is this loud scream that emanates. She kind of falls to her knees for a moment as the light pours out from her eyes, from her mouth. The radiant energy comes off of both of her arms. A pillar of light consumes her, and you watch as she is consumed in ashes as a bright beam, a beacon of light fires upwards into the sky. And you watch with that bright beam of light, it hits upwards into the clouds, and as it does so, the line of clouds disperses, and you can see a bright shining moon looming high above the city skyscape. As the clouds linger no more, darkness has faded, and light is restored to the world. As light is restored to the world, you return back to your home kingdom as epic heroes, saviors of the realm. You are thrown a feast. The whole world celebrates your victory, as in the coming weeks, final bits of the 3 Queens' army, without any leadership, Without the dragons, without their tyrannical control over the land, their forces begin to crumble, and what's left retreats into the lingering darkness on the far edges of the world. The four of you go down in history, go down as legends, on a day of ceremony as the New World Order is established, as the surrounding lands unite as one, forming the Central Empire. Around the Central Ocean, the four of you stand in the newly constructed city of Iris, medals slung around your necks. You are each thanked by the crowds of people that scream and shout your names. A beautiful, picturesque sun looms above you. There are no more shadows, but a calming, enveloping light. And as you all take your place standing heroically amongst the crowd, you can see, flying high above you, 4 white doves crossing the sky. They perch. Lumina, you look at them, remember. All of you look at the world before you, knowing what could have been, knowing what you overcame, and knowing what you became. And that, my friends, is where we're going to call the end of this campaign.
Woo!
Let's go,
Oh!
baby.